Yeah, that's a great question. I think the way we've been trying to approach that is maybe some high level modeling that we know there still is going to be additional guidance coming out around this. I think there's still a lot of uncertainty, even at the basic items within the law, like that 60% and how they're going to treat that. But maybe that's a good time. We actually have teed up an example here to think through two different scenarios and how that plays out, kind of 8 weeks versus 24 weeks. So to tee this up a little bit here, try not to get too in the weeds, but give a bit of information to set the stage for the analysis here. So in this example, let's just say everybody in the organization makes the same amount. Kind of their all-in compensation, their cash comp, their retirement, and their health, all totals 50,000 annually per FTE. And we'll pre-COVID, so during our reference period, whichever one we select, we've got 100 FTEs. And so that would work out to about $5 million annually of payroll costs. And let's say for non-payroll, to keep it nice and round, we have $10,000 per week or $520,000 per year. And the loan amount was $1 million. So I'll refer back to those numbers, but just to throw that out there, what I have up on the screen here is just a real quick and dirty example. Top section is FTEs and costs, and then the bottom section comparing the 8-week period to the 24-week period. So looking at this one, in the top FTE and cost section, working left to right, we start with weeks 1 through 8, so that would be the original covered period, 8-week period as designed by PPP, and then we add on 2 more 8-week periods as we extend out to 24. We've got 9 through 16, and then weeks 17 through 24, and then coming up with a total for all 24 weeks. In that first column on the left side, weeks 1 through 8, we've got 80 FTEs. If you do the math, kind of 50,000 annually times 80 FTEs times 8 weeks divided by 52, because 8 of 52 weeks in a year. That's what you get. Payroll cost is 615,000. Non-payroll 10,000 at 8 weeks is 80,000. In this example, then we do reduce FTEs by 10 every 8 weeks, and so that takes down both the number of FTEs and the payroll costs that we're spending during that time period. The impact at the bottom, you can see in the 8-week time period, we spent $695,000, and we had 80% of FTEs compared to the pre-COVID period, 80 FTEs divided by 100. So we would have about $550,000, $560,000 eligible for forgiveness based on 8 weeks. If we expand that out to 24, we spent quite a bit more money. We spent about $1.9 million because we got an additional 16 weeks. The FTE quotient is lower because we did reduce FTEs, but the result is still significantly higher of what's eligible for forgiveness. So you can see this isn't universally true, but in many examples with borrowers still tend to be better off, and that's a generalization, but still tend to be better off with the longer time period, strictly from a dollar standpoint. So in this case, you'd go from 556 of $1 million loan forgiven, still have about $450,000 loan outstanding, whereas with the 24-week period, you get 100% forgiveness. You get 100% of the $1 million forgiven. And I'll go through this a little bit quicker, but in the second example here, we've got a much steeper reduction in FTEs, a very significant one. In the first 8 weeks, we had a large number. In fact, we had more FTEs than we had in the reference period. And then we reduced it down to 30 FTEs immediately after the 8 weeks. So very steep decrease in number of FTEs, very steep decrease in dollars spent on payroll. And as a result of that, you can see at the bottom, this is actually more or less the flipping point, the turning point for these guys, when it stops being advantageous to use the 24 weeks because the decrease in FTEs and the decrease in dollars spent on payroll costs was so significant.